He will keep the simple rhythms and human-sized implements that will allow him to live humbly, in community, and in a friendly relation with the earth God gives him, and to save what the machine would waste. On a modern farm, a self-propelled combine would require only one person for the whole grain harvesting operation. What the Amish lose in speed, they gain in fellowship. Work, under the right circumstances, is as enjoyable as play. Shared work is, in many cases, the Amishman's recreation.
At home with the early chore is a safe place for Amish children to grow up. Because the milking machine makes it possible for the family dairy to stay in business, it has been accepted.
A tractor is allowed for belt power, but not to pull equipment in the field. That would be crossing an invisible technological line that the Amish define for the sake of their community.
Constantly struggling with questions.
They sense just how much change their community can support without coming apart at the seams, by getting onto the uncontrollable escalator of progress.
In order to keep more of the Amish farmers working on the farm, rather than having to go to the trailer parks or something else, it isn't as
by resisting technological change, or at least slowing it down to controllable speed, the Amish also keep their old people from becoming obsolete as fast as the machinery of their youth is outmoded. There's a simplicity and directness maintaining simple ways of farming lessens the distance between the generations. One of the few places where the Amish meet the world within the family without any threat to their hard work becomes a seasonal ritual. You've done it before with your parents, and you'll do it again in the same way with your children. Greater speed and size in their implements might eliminate some labor, but the Amish find their happiness and meaning in labor, rather than in escape from it. Several million tourists visit Lancaster County every year, understandably fascinated by the Amish ways. If our electronic civilization should fall, the Amish might be the last to miss it. They have never stopped employing the simple sources of energy that make nature seem like a friend.
They are going to be affected by it.
The wind lifts water to an old railroad tank car upended at a spot on the farm higher than the buildings. Gravity takes it back down to
how much do I owe you?
Wind isn't the only free energy the Amishman taps. By damming the stream in his meadow, the farmer stores up enough power to turn a little wheel, even when there's no wind. It works for the family night and day. The local Amishman by converting the weight of falling water into a backward and forward motion. This motion is conveyed up to the house and barn by a cable.
Some of these cities and so on.
And even when the neighbor's electricity goes off, there'll be constant running water for man and beast on this Amish farm.
Right across the road from the bank, and there's a tourist stop.
So much of what seems different about the Amish is only they're continuing to practice what everybody used to, long after almost everybody else has stopped doing it. By not forgetting the art of the windmill, the Amish preserve for the rest of us a visual link with our own pre-urbanized past.
Well, they advertise for it. I mean, they're prepared, expect it. That's why they've got all that tourist traffic. It's so hazardous on the roads. You're driving along with your horse and wagon.
John Fisher, a businessman,
grew
grew up in an Amish home in Lancaster County.
The tourist will just
The
stop.
child learns to work primarily by imitation. He learns to respect
They're really a
work
nuisance when they're
because
they are. They want to talk to you.
close to shameful
You're busy,
from
some of them don't even know what they're
until maybe the adolescent age, wanting to exert, independence.
But you don't have to.
I would say in most of the Amish habitual ways of doing things, these things are learned by imitation.
A lot of people
The way to do them
community change. They often take on evangelistic interests.
Ask him
John Fisher comments on this tendency.
As soon as he's able to carry
In my teen years,
bucket out
I
into the
felt a
chicken
change.
He is taught to share responsibility to the Amish church.
The closer to the urban settings, the more effective it was. Where Amish families felt suddenly that they get a bigger blessing out of reading the Bible in English and studying it in English for the first time, and felt that when they verbalized this, they created an estrangement in the church, and in all sincerity felt they had to leave the church. But they were followed by a large faction who were looking for an offset or an excuse to do the same thing, because really what they wanted was cars and modern machinery.
With their rural neighbors, Amish farmers are unable to match the prices developers are willing to pay for open land.
Yeah, this land situation is a problem for me. The young man that wants to start up farming, his dad can't buy a farm for him, he's just licked. He can't buy a farm to stop it.
And you know, they lament this, but there's nothing they can do about it. And so many of these families are going to be moving out. And in fact, quite a number of them have moved to Missouri and other areas where they feel they will be free for several generations from the encroachment of urbanization.
A form of dodgeball with a homemade leather cover. When the Amishman's body is returned to the earth he has tilled, he is surrounded in death as he was in life by his community. Here, man, discover what you are. Learn here what your existence is. How swiftly flees your span of life, from time into eternity. The strength of the Amish community is dramatically visualized after a barn or house burns. The Amishman is never alone in his troubles. He is bailed out by people he knows, rather than by a commercial insurance policy.
Everybody just automatically gets together. There's no word that goes out. It's a happening. The people who come the day before the actual raising are the ones who are being paid for their service. They are the carpenter and his crew, and maybe a few chosen people besides who are going to do the basic structure and plan the entire raising. They are really the only ones that are welcome there on that day. At a barn raising, there there's always a foreman. The carpenter foreman is probably the overall foreman and overseer. But there are certain people in the community who always emerge as leaders wherever they are, and they cannot hide the urge to lead when they're there. You will very seldom hear or notice the carpenter foreman.